All right, gang, strap in because we are going to be talking about the dark side of crochet, or more specifically, the dark side of the crochet community. I'm not really sure where this chat is going to go. I've written down lots of ideas, lots of thoughts about the seemingly increasing toxicity happening in the crochet community and what we can do about it. So, according to the internet, let me pull up my notes. According to the internet, I am too old, I'm too fat, and my hair is too ugly for me to be a content creator. I'm also a grifter, a scammer, and a thief. So that's what the internet tells me. A small portion of the internet. That's what a small portion of the internet tells me. And we're going to dive into what do you do with those kinds of comments? And how do we create a positive community when our culture seems to be shifting in a really negative way? So, welcome, crocheters. I'm so happy to have you here. My name is Pam Grice, the Crochetpreneur. I'm on a mission to help 100,000 makers build financial freedom through crochet and to build a healthy, non-toxic crochet community, one that supports one another's growth, one that celebrates one another's successes, and one that employs collaboration and connection over competition. So that's what we are working towards here. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And for those of you watching, be sure to like this video so YouTube lets other folks know about it and we can get more folks watching. So appreciate you all. Say hello in the comments. This is Crochet Business Chat podcast, and I'm happy to have you here. So I really am wondering if the crochet community or the internet in general is just destined to be toxic, or is it possible to foster a healthy community? For me, I think maybe because I have joined a new platform that I have been avoiding for a little while because of the rumors I'd heard about the toxicity happening there. But I joined this social media platform, and honestly, the comments are dark. The atmosphere is dark. The desire for drama, the desire to gossip, the desire to criticize, the desire to shame, all of that seems to be the cultural norm on this clocky social media platform. And then just from a personal perspective, one of my friends and clients has become kind of one of the most popular targets right now. And so I've gotten to see some behind the scenes of what that looks like. And it is awful. It's like just getting to see like a side of our culture that just feels gross, and it feels life sucky. That's how it feels to me. So now, just from where I'm coming from, I have a background in psychotherapy. I have a history of working with women who are adult survivors of sexual trauma. And so I see a lot of defense mechanisms, a lot of learned behaviors, a lot of self-protective things playing out in the culture over there and here, even on YouTube. I'm not going to diagnose anybody, but I see some mental illness happening, and I see some just regular defense mechanisms playing out in all of this. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So we're going to be unpacking sort of this cultural shift and figuring out how we can all do better, hopefully. So again, I'm going to be looking back and forth in my notes because I don't want to get off track. I have a tendency sometimes to just go over here and follow the rabbit trails, but I want to stay on track because this is a big topic. Ultimately, it comes down to a bullying culture and a society that says it is one thing when it is actually another thing. So it's a society that says it cares about people. It is anti-bullying. It's about inclusivity. It's about caring for people's hearts. But in reality, in what their actions are saying is that they're about excluding people, they're about hurting people, and they're about getting attention in any means possible. And that is what toxicity looks like. And honestly, it's not just the crochet community. Like, I am not meaning to attack the crochet community. I love this community. I care so deeply about the crochet community that I built my entire world around it. This is where I live. This is what I do. This is who I serve day in and day out. And so the more the culture goes negative, the more hearts I need to take care of on the back end as a business coach and as a friend, with, my entire community is in this space. So it's very important to me to nurture and to create a culture that is positive, that is supportive, that's caring. So the thing is that social media algorithms promote and stoke drama and negativity. So the more people are toxic, the more people step into the world of drama. And I've seen so many people like, there's drama where? And they're like heading there. Like, this is such an energetic shift where people want to be energized by other people being hurt. And again, the social media algorithms really promote that kind of content. So people who are psychologically immature, psychologically wounded, and, in that space of not healthy will go that route, because instead of, it used to be that people will sell their integrity for money, and now people sell their integrity for engagement. They sell it for clicks. And you'll see more and more people doing that, and it's really hard to watch. So there are a few things that I see happening that have impacted this, and I'm just going to sort of go through them in different ways. I'm going to go through them. So first of all, the crochet community used to look like a lot of grandmas, right? So not even my age. So I am 60. Yes, I'm a grandma. Yes, I'm older. I'm in an older generation, but there are grandmas older than me, right? So the 65 to 85-year-old range grandmas, and then a lot fewer of a younger age. So what it was grandmas, and I think this is a story for many of us, that our grandmothers taught us this skill. Our grandmas taught us how to crochet, and we're carrying on that sort of culture of crafting in our own worlds. And what has shifted a lot is that now the age range is shifting, because most of this is happening online, and there's a lot younger community coming in, moving much more quickly because they're grabbing the YouTube. There's that lack of connection, lack of storyline, and lack of I think connection to the craft, and it's all about me and not about the artistry and not about the art. And again, I'm just making this up based on my perception. So when that happens, the community as a whole starts to value different things. And like I said, valuing engagement over valuing that connection and that shared history that we all have as lovers of the craft. And so that impacts the community as a whole. So let's see. And that's not just in the crochet community. This is kind of culturally all over the place culturally. So like a real disconnection from our history and disconnection from our story, or even disdain for our story. And that impacts the way the community looks at itself. So there is a sort of cultural revolution happening, and we get to decide if it's headed in a positive or a negative direction, and then we get to decide, how we're going to respond to that. So one thing that you'll see a lot of, and I'm not saying this isn't anything new because we've all experienced it, is mean girl syndrome. So, this is a holdover from, a lot of people say high school, but any of us could say that we've experienced mean girl syndrome at any age of life, in childhood, in teenage years, in adulthood. There's always going to be this segment of the society that creates cliques that go around telling others, you don't belong, you're not like us, you're not good enough, right? And it's really based off of insecurities and comparison, and so that it's this ally gathering of I'm going to bully other people, so I am seen as the powerful one, and now people fear me, so I get allies in my corner because they don't want to be bullied, and then we all together go and bully other people and make them fearful. And in the crochet community, I'm seeing that impact people who are coming into the business and are now fearful to post on social media because they're afraid of getting attacked. They don't want to make video because they're afraid they'll be criticized for the way they look. They're criticized for their voice. They have, maybe they don't have the money to get their fingernails done, and people will criticize their fingernails. They criticize the way they hold their hook. There's a huge contingent of those who will attack anyone who are older than them, even to the point of attacking someone, at the age of 30 and above. There's ageism is prevalent. So in a culture that used to heavily favor and look to the wisdom and the skill of those of an older generation, it's now looking to shame and force people out who are of an older generation. And I think that's a huge problem. So mean girl syndrome. So again, it has this ally gathering. And then when they get attacked, they get into this like victim mentality. So feel sorry for me. I'm going to be a bully, but feel sorry for me, right? This groupthink, there's projection, there's mob mentality, there's dogpiling, cancel culture. It's all super negative. And I don't know why people feel so attracted to it. Like, oh, I can't wait to get on board with this. I'm canceling this person, as if they have no humanity, as if they have no story, as if they have no personhood. We'll just attack them. We'll ruin their business. We'll ruin their reputation. And we have no remorse about that whatsoever. It makes me really sad. I hope it makes you sad too. If you're in this space, if you're listening or watching this podcast, I'm hoping that you're on board with the values of the Crochetpreneur mindset, which is that we are about growing community. We are about supporting one another. We're about celebrating each other's successes. And if you're not, stick around and listen for a while and see if it feels good to you. So anyway, so why does it feel acceptable, even noteworthy or praiseworthy, to lash out at creators or designers? Again, I think it goes back to those societal shifts that we're seeing, where we really disregard established norms. We celebrate a lack of agency. We devalue creatives and creativity, and we shirk responsibility for our own selves. I do think there is a certain, how do I want to say it? There's this, like, I don't know, this embracing of ignorance, or this embracing of maybe entitlement. Like, I don't want to learn it. Someone else should tell me how to do it, and someone else should hold my hand and make, like, they should do the Google search and tell me the answer. I don't have to do the Google search myself, right? It comes down to that simple. It's easier for me to ask a question in a Facebook group than to actually go do a Google search myself. The answers are out there, but I don't want to do the work. Same thing with the crochet world of, I don't want to learn this stitch. I want I don't want to go out and find the resources to learn the thing. I'm going to blame someone else because I don't know how to do it. Or someone else needs to, in the example I was talking about earlier, someone else needs to rewrite their pattern because I don't understand how to read patterns. Or I don't want to do the hard work of deciphering this pattern. So someone else do the work for me. So anyway, all of that. And I do see that lots of you are commenting. So after I'm done with this, I'll come back and read your responses. So there are toxic behaviors in the crochet community of shaming, ageism, criticism rooted in ignorance, character assassination, a love for drama, and especially clout chasing. So you'll notice that as soon as drama starts to happen, other people will create content. Now, I'm creating this because I have a friend involved and because I am a leader in the community and a coach, and I feel like I need to take a stand against this. But there are people who are crafters or outsiders who create content around this because they're like, oh, drama, I can get clicks from this. Oh, drama, I can get attention from this. And it's not helpful to the community. It doesn't build the community up. And it's, I think, a detriment to society. So what does a healthy community even look like? Is it possible? So let me just talk a little bit about what the norms of a healthy community look like. Those would be shared values and purpose. So inside of the Crochetpreneur community, our values include kindness, generosity, freedom to be who and what you want, to believe how you want, but to be kind in the process. So we have a super inclusive community that is all about growth. And those are all things that are part of a healthy community. So shared values, shared purpose, communication. So constructive communication. It doesn't have to be there's no conflict. It's just that conflict is handled in a healthy way. Psychological safety, where we don't shame people. We don't bring people down, we lift them up in the community. So mutual respect, inclusivity, growth-mindedness, accountability, generosity, reciprocity. Other norms of healthy community are strong leadership, celebration and recognition, boundaries and conflict resolution, resiliency and adaptability, support and connection, and collaboration over competition. I believe all of these things are possible, but they do take work and they do take intentionality. It takes the community to monitor the norms and to say that's not acceptable, and to tell people who want to ruin the norms of that culture or to come in and shift the culture in a negative direction, to say no to that. And I'm not afraid to block people. And I know a lot of people will shame others for blocking them, but don't be a toxic person. Don't be the kind of person that people need to protect themselves from, and you won't get blocked. It's just really simple. And again, it comes back to that taking 100% responsibility for who you are. So if people feel the need to block you in order to protect their peace, maybe the question isn't what's wrong with them, but what's wrong with me and what can I do to change? So that's just an aside. So remember that social media amplifies conflict. We need to call our leaders to set the tone with kindness, integrity, professionalism, and boundaries. and to have them publicly address these kinds of toxic behaviors. We've seen some really great content coming out from Cinema Knits and from Jada about the current conflict happening on that other platform and their thoughts on that, which is certainly very balanced. And I appreciated them stepping into the forefront, because even I was fearful. I'm like, I don't want to get attacked. I don't want to, I don't want people coming after me for telling them they're wrong, telling them they're being hateful, and telling them they're being mean, right? And so there were people with really strong personalities who were able to step up and create that cultural shift of saying, like, no, there's hundreds of you saying something is right when something is wrong. And they came out and they created that shift. So that was really awesome. So what can we do? What are some actionable steps that we can take in our own lives to create a more positive community in the crochet community and in our wider world? So just on social media in particular, reflect before commenting. Just think about it. Even take 24 hours. The world is not going to end if you don't just go out there and kind of blurt out whatever it is you want to say. So often I'll write something and then I'll just leave it and then I'll let it go. So sometimes you just have to do that. Another thing you can do is assume positive intent. Sometimes it looks like people are doing the wrong thing, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So assume everyone has positive intent until you can confirm something otherwise. And be cautious when you hear only one side of a story. If someone's coming out, and I've found this in my own life, that if someone is coming out and generating a lot of buzz around their narrative, it's typical that narrative might not be quite true, right? Anyone who has been divorced, I'll just bring my own story into this. Anyone who has been divorced might recognize this as typically the wrongdoer will call all the friends and state their case and set the narrative. And the person who has been wronged just wants out and will just quietly go away, right? And that often happens in social media conflicts as well, with the person setting the narrative, the person saying, she did this and she did that and she said this and she's so mean and she's a bad person. Maybe that's all narrative setting and maybe it's not true. So really tap into your gut instinct, tap into what you know about human nature, ask questions, be curious. Don't be so quick to share gossip that you cannot confirm with both parties. All right. So I just want to share that as part of what I'm seeing with this ongoing conflict, that sometimes the person who's acting more professional is actually the person who is in the right, and they are just not taking it online. So ultimately, it's up to us to create grassroots change. Small shifts that you create in your own community, whether you have a Facebook group or you just have a following on social media, small shifts that you create to foster positive community, to foster positive conflict resolution, discussion, is going to have a ripple effect on the entire community. So your drop in the water affects everyone. So be that person who makes crochet kind, who makes fiber arts kind. Don't be the person to spread gossip, to seek to injure another business owner. If you don't want to work with them, don't work with them. If you don't like the way they write a pattern, don't use their patterns. And if people are ganging up on someone, maybe reach out to that person and say, can you help me understand what's really going on here? Reach out to both parties. And if they don't respond, then stay out of it. Not everything is our business. All right. Support integrity. And don't be afraid to leave toxic spaces. I've had to leave so many Facebook groups that are just about gossip, that are about being mean to people, that are about, they don't state that they're about this, but see, it's about shaming people. It's about one-upsmanship. It's not good. It doesn't feel good. And so don't be afraid to leave those communities. If you are looking for a positive crochet community, come join us over on Crochet Business Chat. I have a plan for 2025 to be more active online, to get in front of the camera more, to pop in and do lives and those kinds of things. I have my own issues about being online and social media. So yeah, but we'd love to have you over there, Crochet Business Chat on Facebook, or follow me wherever. Join us here on YouTube, and hop on the wait list for our upcoming Crochet Business Summit, which is such a fun event for online business owners. This year is going to be our Online Profits Edition. We're going to be talking about all the different ways you can make money online to increase revenue streams and all of that. It's going to take place in March, and you can find us at crochetbusinesssummit.com. And get on our wait list so you don't miss a thing. So mostly that's what I wanted to say about the toxic, dark side of the crochet business community, or the crochet community. Again, there's always been mean girls. Ladies, let's not do that. There's always been cliques. There's always been people seeking to exclude others. Let's not be those people. I want to come over and check your comments. Okay. Oh, wow. There's lots of you here today. Let's see. Good morning from Texas. Let's see. It's bad in the culture here on YouTube. That's why I stopped going live. Too much drama and I don't have time for it. It's really difficult when you go live. I've seen it on TikTok. Thankfully, this community is pretty good at self-monitoring. On the other platform, you get some really bad stuff happening. I've seen it myself of, bad things happening when people are on lives, and it just ruins it for everyone. So Bonnie's here. Thank you for dealing with this important topic in such a wise manner. Linda says, it's because the bullies who proclaim to be religious aren't practicing their faith. I haven't seen that, but yeah. So definitely people will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, haughty, blasphemers. Yep. Disobedient, unthankful, disloyal. Yeah. There's a lot of that. Let's not do that. Let's be kind. It's so stressful to have a crochet YouTube channel. Yeah, Betty shared, this, I can't learn this, so it's your fault. I think a really wise approach to any time you're having a struggle, instead of attacking the other person, it's always come back to, could this be me? Could this be a me issue? Because even with myself, 99% of the time, it's a me issue. If I'm having trouble with software, it's a me issue. If if I'm having trouble with a pattern, it's a me issue. If I'm having trouble with a yarn, it's a me issue. Almost always, it's a me issue. So once I work through, is this a me issue? Even, is my computer plugged in? Have I been defragging? Have I been taking care of my, the way my computer works? All of those things. We need to ask first, is it me? And if it is me, what can I do about it? Rather than going, I'm having a problem, so it's automatically your fault. This is a thing that happens in society so much that we need to really combat it. So Betty said, thank you for your support. Yeah, I love and appreciate Betty McNitt. She's done so much for the community, and contrary to popular belief, is not ableist, and in fact spends an awful lot of time helping people care for themselves, care for their bodies, and care for their minds. And That's just the truth. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope I shared what I wanted to. Probably if I wasn't on camera and I was just talking about this, I would have said much of the same things. I probably would say a little bit more, but I need to moderate myself a little bit when I'm online. But I do think we need to have compassion for those we see falling into bully mode and into drama mode, because what I'm seeing is a lot of really hurt and wounded, particularly women, jumping on the bandwagon of maybe I can get some attention, whether it's positive or negative attention, if I jump on this bandwagon and hurt this other person. And I really am seeing that it's coming from people who are themselves already wounded, people who are already struggling, and they're turning that into maybe if I hurt somebody else, I'll feel better. I don't know. So let's have compassion for those people. Let's not be hateful to them. Let's not attack them. But ultimately, my response is to reach out once with truth in kindness. And if that is rejected, then I immediately block them, because I don't need that kind of negativity and lack of wanting to grow as a person in my life, because that just sucks my energy away. So that's my own perspective. Let's see. I was taught to treat people as I expect to be treated as a child. I live this every day, and regardless what someone else is doing, I remain true to this. Good job, Marge. I agree with you. So our culture is changing. We can do what we can to keep crochet kind, to make the world a better place, to be kind, to be generous, to be compassionate, to have empathy, but also to have boundaries. And I want to encourage you to do that. I would love for you, if you hold those same values and you want to be part of a supportive community that celebrates your successes, come on over to Crochet Business Chat. Join us for the Crochet Business Summit. And again, I'm happy to have you here. If you have new questions, put them in the comments, and I will be back to answer them over the course of the week. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Take care. Bye.